Hi everyone, welcome to today's lunchtime practice. I hope you're all doing well in this beautiful weather that we're having if you are in London. As always with these classes, if something hurts, if something is painful, sharp pain, anything that doesn't feel right, please take it easy, do what works for your body, and don't always listen to me if something isn't working. Feel free to change it. Also, I'm around for questions afterwards or at any point if you would like to give me a shout. Also, these classes are donation based, so if you are able to, if you would like to, there is a PayPal link at the side of the screen. Otherwise, let's get started. We're going to flow a little bit, and we're also going to focus a bit on mobility. So rather than always going through the stretches, we're going to look at sort of engagement in the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So we're going to start in a child's pose today. Big toes touching, and you choose how far you want your knees open. So if it feels better for you today, maybe start with the knees together. We are going to be working into the hips quite a lot. So if you want to start off easy, knees together, otherwise open them out. Sink the seat bones back towards the heels and walk the fingertips forward so the forehead comes towards the floor. Don't worry if your forehead doesn't touch the floor, but if you have anything close by like a cushion, a yoga block, and you want to place your forehead on that instead, go ahead. And let's take a couple of big sighs here. So in through the nose, open the mouth, and just let it go. Let's do another one like that. Big breath in. And let it go. Switching on your ujjayi breath, so in and out through the nose, creating that audible sound. And as you stay here, just sort of checking in, finding that sort of comfort in being in a child's pose position. See if you can walk your fingertips a little bit further forwards on the mat. And as you do this, see if you can sink your seat bones further back. So we're really looking for a stretch here along the sides of the body. You might get it in the armpits, along the sides of the ribs. Just taking a few moments to let go of your day so far, your week so far, and really arrive onto your mat. On your next inhale, lifting up to all fours, tabletop, hands below shoulders and knees are hip width apart. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow, just getting into a little bit of a flowing motion. So inhale, drop the stomach, arch the back, lift the gaze. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone, press the earth away, chin comes towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, open up. And exhaling to round. Keep moving like this and allow this time to be a little bit free, a little bit intuitive, to just move or sway or even stay in stillness, but just listening to whatever it is that your body wants right now. Bring yourself to stillness when you have completed whatever movement you were taking, and walk your hands back towards your knees. Tuck your toes under. We're going to sort of spin all the way back onto our feet into a Malasana squat. So you can bring your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Toes are pointing out. Don't worry if you're further up here. That's absolutely fine. Just coming into this squat as much or as little as is available for you now. Elbows to the insides of the knees, hands together at heart center. Bring awareness to your feet here and think about pressing the outer edges of the feet down. As you do this, you might even feel a gentle or a slight lift in the inner arch, the inner ankle. Think about lifting the crown of the head. And just notice what's happened to the breath here. In and out through the nose. If this is super intense, you might want to sway a little bit from side to side. Feel free to come out of it if you need to at any point, but we are working quite a lot into the hips today. So this is a great way to get things warming up. Not that we need much warming up here in this lovely weather. Just staying with it for About 30 more seconds. Breathing deeply. If you want to, close the eyes, go completely inward here. Just focusing on the simplicity of breathing in and out. From here, we're going to release our hands to the mat and nice and slowly lift the hips all the way up, coming to a forward fold. You can keep the feet where they are or bring them in a little bit, maybe parallel to one another. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow and let your head just hang heavy. You might want to take a generous bend in the knees here, especially if the hamstrings are feeling quite tight. Maybe take a little bounce or a little sway, just allowing the upper body to completely melt down towards the floor. Release your hands. And on an inhale, nice and slowly roll yourself up to standing. Have your head as the last thing to lift. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. If you're ready for a small back bend, go ahead, open through the chest a little bit, Exhale, we fold forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. Really reach the crown of the head forwards. Step it back into a high plank and just pause here. So just running your awareness from the feet all the way up the body. Check in that everything is switched on. So muscles in the legs are hugging in towards the leg bones. Pull the core in and up. Press the earth away and then reach the crown of the head forwards. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, come all the way down onto your mat. Open your chest for a baby cobra, just using your back muscles here. Downward facing dog. Check in with your down dog, take any movements, any adjustment you might need. Maybe pedal out the feet slightly, really stretching into the lower portion of each of your legs. And then bring yourself to stillness. Step your right foot forwards, coming into a sort of low lunge here. Coming up onto the fingertips, think about reaching the chest forwards. You can either stay on your fingertips or come back onto your flat palms and just take a little bit of a rock backwards and forwards. So we're just feeling our way into our hips. Maybe the hip flexors on the left leg, so the top of the front of that left thigh. So keeping that bit of movement, just noticing what's going on in this part of the body today. From here, if you can, keep the hands where they are. You might want to be on fingertips or you might want to stay on your flat palms. As you keep the hands where they are, see if you can start to straighten through that right leg. You might even want to come up onto the heel so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Think about lengthening the chest forwards here. Just waking up those hamstrings. I'm sure you're feeling it along the back line of that right leg. And if the toes are up, place them back on the floor, bend through that right knee. Bring both hands to the inside of the right leg. So you might need to shuffle that right foot out a little bit. And then see if you can walk your hands forwards here. So maybe you walk them all the way so that they come off the mat. From here, think about reaching the chest forwards. This can feel quite intense, so if you want to go for a little rock, a little movement, do so. Otherwise, you're just breathing deeply, opening through that hip. Use your Ujjayi breath here. Staying for another 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1, no rush. Walk your hands back towards your right foot and then walk that right foot back in between the hands. So we're not quite finished in this position. Even if you're feeling a little bit tight, a little bit like you need a break, stay with me for a little bit longer. So up on your fingertips now, we're going to come onto the baby toe edge of the right foot. So this is great if you do any running or cardio or if you have weak ankles. Keeping the fingertips down, start to press down into that right foot. If it feels super intense here, maybe you just stay here. Otherwise, focus your gaze to one spot and nice and slowly lifting up. So you're on the baby toe edge of that right foot in your lunge position. It is wobbly, it is shaky. Try not to take it too seriously if you're feeling like you're a little bit all over the place. Just breathe into it. Staying with it. Last 2 breaths here. And gently place the hands back to the floor. Come onto the sole of that right foot. And then nice and lightly lift that foot up, step it back, high plank. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, come all the way down. Give those legs a little break. Inhale, we open baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. You might want to shake the legs out a little bit, checking in how each of the sides of the body are feeling. Has there been any shift on one of the sides? Has there been any shift anywhere else? Step your left foot forwards this time, coming into that low lunge position. Before we take it any further, lift up onto your fingertips. Think about reaching the chest as far forwards as you can. And then take that movement, so either on fingertips or maybe it feels good to be on your flat palms. Bringing in that little bit of movement, so gentle rock backwards and forwards. Just checking in with the glute, with the hip, what's going on. Can you sink into it a little bit more? From here, choosing, if you stay on flat palms, maybe come up onto your fingertips, but see if you can keep your hands next to the feet. So try not to move the hands here, but start to straighten through that left leg. Maybe you lift the left toes up towards the ceiling here, and then think about reaching the chest forwards. Awareness of the hips, trying to keep them as level as you can. Maybe shuffling that right foot further back if you feel that's available. And then placing that left foot back on the floor, bend through that left knee. We're going to walk the left foot outside of that left hand a little bit here. And again, just checking in, how do the hips feel from here? Slowly start to walk your hands forwards. Maybe all the way to the top of the mat and then reaching off the mat. From here, just stay with it. You might want to have a little bit of movement or just stay in stillness. This can be quite an intense position to be in. So if it's too much, you can walk the hands further back. Equally, if you want more, just walk the hands further forwards. Staying for another 5. 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1, nice and slowly walk the hands back to the left foot, walk that left foot in between the hands, coming onto that baby toe edge of the left foot this time. Again, before you think about lifting, press that foot down, feel that engagement. You should feel it all the way up this left leg. Choose if you stay here. So if you've got weaker ankles or if this feels really intense, feel free to stay where you are. Otherwise, moving nice and slowly lifting up. So you're in that lunge position with the legs, but balancing on the outer edge, the baby toe edge of the left foot. Don't worry if you are wobbly and shaky here. That's kind of part of the pose, but we're really strengthening parts of the ankle that often if you roll over when you're running or if you feel like you're almost spraining your ankle or rolling into your ankle, this is a great thing to be doing. 3 more breaths here. Focus your gaze to one spot to help you with your balance. Last big breath in. And as you exhale, nice and slowly coming back, place the sole of that left foot down. Lightly lift that foot up, step it back, high plank. Options to drop your knees or keep them lifted this time. Make your way through a vinyasa, nice and gently, nice and slowly. Meeting in a down dog when you are ready. Let's take a big sigh here. So in through the nose, open the mouth and just let it all go. People tend to hold a lot of tension, both physical and emotional, in their hips. So don't worry if that one felt like there was a lot going on for you. Soften knees, gaze forwards, walk, step, or if you want to, maybe jump to your hands. Inhale to a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale with folding forwards. Maybe you've got a little bit more space in the hamstrings now. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, we bring our hands together at heart center. I'm going to take you through a little sequence now. You can either watch me do it and then join in, or you can join in straight away. We're going to do it twice on each side. So, start standing. You don't need to turn around like I did. I just like doing it this way. We're going to lift our right knee up. So, finding yourself balanced. You can do whatever you want with your arms as we go through this, just to feel your balance. Find your balance. From here, start to kick that right foot back as you bend your left knee. And you're going to place the right knee on the floor, nice and gently. Once the right knee touches the floor, tuck your right toes under. Sit back on your right heel. Options, stay like this. Find your balance. Second option, hands to floor. Lift that left foot. Third option, lift the left foot, straighten the leg and try and lift the hands off the floor. Breathe. From here, place your left foot back on the floor, roll forwards onto that right knee, lift the right toes. Once the right toes are lifted, stand up on that right leg. Great work. Second one on this side. So you sort of know where you're going now. Take it easy. Start to bend that left knee. Placing the right knee gently on the floor here. Use your hands for your arms for your balance. Tuck your right toes under, sit back on that heel. Choose, maybe this is enough. Maybe you try and lift that left foot. Focus your gaze to help you with your balance. If you found your balance, amazing. If not, don't worry. Find a little bit of joy in the wobble. Moving slowly, step back onto that left foot. Left right knee, make sure you lift the right toes and then stand up. It's harder than it looks, don't worry if it didn't work. Shake it out a little bit. Let's do that on the other side. Left knee lifts. Take it slowly, use your upper body as a sort of counterbalance as you bend the right knee, leaning forwards, place that left knee on the floor, tuck the toes under, sit back. Again, choose, maybe you stay here, maybe hands come to the floor. Maybe you don't need the floor today. Keep breathing as you balance. Enjoy the strange things your body does to find its balance. Leaning back forwards, place the right foot on the floor. Lift the left toes. Stand up. Let's go. Last side, last one. Bend the right knee. Sitting back, placing the left knee gently on the floor. Tuck the left toe, sit back on that left heel, find your balance here. Maybe you lift your right foot off the floor, maybe you don't. Maybe you straighten that right leg, maybe you don't. Place the right foot back on the floor, left knee down, left toes lift, stand up. Great work. Shake it out a little bit. If you're not there already, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, we reach up tall. Exhale, we're folding forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Big toes to touch. Let's go for a chair pose. Bend the knees, rise up tall. So the hips are nice and warm, the ankles are nice and warm. Let's lower the hips all the way down to the floor. Bring your seat bones onto the mat, find your boat pose just for a breath. Place your feet flat to the floor, just go for it, try and stand up. We're going to do that once more. If you'd rather go for momentum and rock and roll backwards and forwards, go for it. Otherwise, stay with me, chair pose. Sinking the hips down nice and low, seat bones to the floor, boat pose, shoulders up. Even if you think you can't do it, just go into it like you're going to make it. Give it a go. Making your way to a chair pose if you're not there already. Big breath in. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you, bend your right knee, open your hips. Can you bring your right heel all the way towards your seat bone? Straighten that right leg out, back out behind you, and then nice and slowly bring that right knee towards the left wrist. Find that twist. Gaze towards the left, straighten that right leg, fallen triangle. Choose if you drop that right foot on the floor or if you keep it lifted. Breathing here. Place your left hand back to the mat, three-legged down dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Both feet ground down. Rise up nice and tall. Open out, warrior two. Front knee is bending towards the baby toe. Flip your front palm, reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat, high to low plank, or dropping the knees if you prefer. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift that left leg up this time. Bend your left knee, open the hips. Peel those hips open here. Straighten the leg back out behind you. Bring your left knee towards your right elbow, really twisting through the torso. Drop the back foot, straighten the left leg, fallen triangle. Maybe you lift that left leg if you have space. And then gently place your right hand to the mat, three-legged down dog. Step that left foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale to rise up, two. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, high to low plank. Moving with your breath. Up dog or cobra, open the chest. Downward facing dog. Hopefully you're all feeling a little bit warmer. I definitely am right about now. And let's flow a little bit more. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale it all out. Soften knees, gaze forwards, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Chair pose. Drop the hips all the way down. We find our boat pose. Breathe. Place the feet back to the floor. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Lift halfway. High to low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right leg lift straight up. Bend the knee, open the hips. Just staying here for one breath. Then bring that right knee all the way towards that left elbow. Fallen triangle. Keep the right leg lifted. Spinning back. Three-legged down dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one. Warrior two. Inhale, we reverse. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lift straight up. Bend the knee, open the hips. Bring that left knee towards the right elbow, fallen triangle. Open up. Right hand drops back down, three-legged down dog. Warrior one, left foot forwards, inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, we reverse. Exhale, high to low plank. Or skip it out if you're getting a little bit hot and tired. Skip a vinyasa out anytime you want. Meeting in a down dog when you're ready, but if you need child's pose for a few breaths, by all means, make your way into a child's pose. Soften those knees, gaze forwards. Think about how lightly, how softly you can jump to your hands. Can you do it almost silently? On an inhale, this time we're rolling all the way up to standing. We're going to find our goddess pose. So, open your feet out. It doesn't matter which way round you're going. Toes are pointing out, and you're going to bend through the knees. So checking in here, you don't want your knees to knock inwards. You want your knees to be sort of tracking towards the outer edges of the feet. So not like that, more like that. And then sink the hips nice and low. Don't lean forwards here. Keep the core engaged. You can choose if you have your hands together at heart center, or if you reach up too. We're just going to hold it here. It might feel nice to take some gentle pulses If you're staying with me and going for some pulses, we're going to go for 10, for 9, 8, 7, keep breathing, 6. See if you can go a little bit lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs. Turn the toes so they now face inward slightly. So slightly pigeon toe the toes. Hands come to hips. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we're folding forwards. So really let the crown of the head hang heavy towards the floor. Hands can be released down to the floor. If they don't reach the floor, don't worry, let them float. Maybe towards the big toes or the ankles. Just letting the whole of the upper half of the body relax. Again, just like an Amelasana squat, think about the outer edges of your feet and really press them down to lift the inner ankle. On an inhale, and with a straight spine, start to lift yourself all the way up to standing. Nice work. We're going to bring our feet in a little bit. You can stay the way that you're going. I'm going to go this way just so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more. You're going to reach both arms towards your left, so a little bit like that. Gaze is towards your right. So feet are about hip width, maybe a little bit wider, maybe a little bit less, whatever works for you. From here, we're going to start spinning towards the right. As you spin, you come onto the outer edges of your feet. Your knees are going to cross, and you're going to come all the way down into your cow face pose. So knees stacked on top of each other. Take your time. Don't worry if it didn't work straight away. Once you get down, you're twisting towards your left foot, so towards the right side. From here, we're going to take it nice and slowly. You're going to lift, lean forwards, lift all the way back up to where you started. Okay, I'm going to do it once more on this side, and we're going to go through it all again, do it on the other side. So feet around about hip width apart. Arms are reaching towards your left, and you're going to start spinning all the way towards your right. As you do that, you'll notice your knees start to cross. You're on those baby toe edges of the feet. As you lower the hips all the way down, knees are stacked towards each other. Start to reach over towards that left foot, so towards your right side. And then we're going to make our way all the way back up. Take your time. Don't worry if it's not completely fluid. Shake it out. As I said, we're going to do it again, but on the other side. So opening the legs out, find your goddess pose, toes pointing out, sink those hips nice and low. So we're trying to get our hips, our thighs, almost as if you could balance like an apple, a marble or something on those thighs. Don't worry if it's more like this, but really trying to sink the hips low, knees pressing out. Again, hands either together at heart center or reaching up. Options to stay in stillness or come with me and take 10 pulses. Keep breathing for 10, for 9, for 8, sinking low, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting all the way back up. Again, turn the toes this time so they're slightly pointing in, slightly pigeon toe the toes. Interlace the fingers behind you, open the chest on an inhale, folding forwards on the exhale. Crown of the head comes heavy towards the floor, really reaching your hands towards your head here. So we're looking for a nice shoulder stretch as well. Breathing deeply. We're going to release the hands, but don't let them ping apart, so gently let go. With a straight spine, and on an inhale, rising up to standing. Nice. So again, you can stay where you are. I'm going to go sideways so that I don't turn my back to you. Feet around about hip width apart, give or take. This time, arms reach towards your right. Gaze is towards the left. So think about it. We're going to spin and we're going to end up on the outer edges with both feet. So start to spin all the way around towards your left. Knees cross over. You come all the way down into this cow face pose. So knees stacking on top of each other. Twist towards that right toe, the right foot, so towards your left side. And then coming all the way back round, lifting yourself all the way back up. Nice, let's do one more on that side. Right arms towards the right. Start to spin towards the left, knees cross. Maybe a little bit more elegantly than me, we come and twist towards that right foot towards your left side. Nice and slowly, we're lifting all the way back up. Feel those hips, those knees get used. We come all the way to standing. Again, shake it out. Whatever you need to do. Stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, we reach up. 2. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, step it back into a high plank and pause here. Big toes touching. Side plank, right hand down, left arm lift. Keep lifting the hips. Holding it here. From here, keeping the body sort of in one straight line, you're going to drop your left forearm towards the floor, spin over, forearm side plank, left arm down, right arm up. Keep squeezing the glutes, keep squeezing the core. We're going to drop that right forearm down, spin over, side plank, forearm side plank, right arm down, left arm lift. Breathe. Left hand places down towards the floor, lifting yourself all the way back up, side plank, left arm down, right arm up. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lightly place that right hand down, you're in a high plank. Options here to stay in your high plank for about another 30 seconds, or if you want to, take a little break for the arms, come to a child's pose. So totally up to you, whichever you prefer. Ujjayi breath, remind yourself to breathe in. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. Turn the muscles on so much through the midline of the body that this feels nice and easy, your body feels light. Last few breaths here. If you are in a child's pose, come and meet us back in a high plank, feet to touch. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side, side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Lift the hips as high as you can. Make sure you're breathing. Try and keep everything switched on as you drop your right forearm, spin over, forearm side plank, right arm down, left arm up. From here, drop that left forearm down, spin over, keep everything lifted. Try not to sink those hips as you transition. Right fingertips lift. You know where we're going. Place that right hand to the floor, spinning all the way up into your side plank. Right hand down, left arm lift. Holding it here for 5. Ujjayi breath for 4. For 3, 2, 1. High plank. Downward facing dog. Give those arms a rest. If downward facing dog is not a resting pose for you just yet in your practice, feel free to come to a child's pose now. I'm just going to take a few deep, deep breaths here. And then wherever you are, we're going to come onto our knees. We're going to set up for a frog pose. So we've used our hips quite a lot today. Used our body quite a lot today. Frog pose is a really nice deep hip opener. I'm going to set myself up how I go for this, and I hope you're going to be able to see me. If you're on a harder floor, if you have sensitive knees, you might want to do what I do, which is roll the edges of my mat in towards each other. You don't have to do this, it just helps. I've got kind of babyish knees. So what we're doing is we're going to find a position where our knees are not at our limit. So we're kind of opening the knees wide, but not sort of at the widest you can get them. I'm just pushing mine back so you can see me a little bit more. So opening them out. My feet are sort of, my toes are pointing outwards. Again, that's not completely necessary. It's totally up to the structure of your body. So once you've found a good position here, knees are as wide as they can go. Try not to go to your complete edge because we're going to hold this one for about a minute. Then maybe you come onto your forearms here. Some of you might bring your forehead all the way down onto the mat. One thing to be aware of is that your hips don't start shifting backwards or don't start shifting forwards. So you want to have your hips kind of in line with your knees as much as possible. And just coming into this pose as much as you can. So maybe you start on your forearms, maybe you end up on your forehead, maybe the other way around happens. And don't worry if you feel like not much is going on, feel free to deepen it, but know that after we've stayed here for a minute more than we are, so we've got about a minute left, I'm sure you're going to start feeling it. But equally, if you want to deepen it, just open the knees a little bit wider. Equally, if it's feeling way too intense, or maybe something around the ankles doesn't work like this, feel free to sort of move the toes around and see which orientation of the toes works best for you. And as we start slowing things down, moving into these deeper stretches, check that everything else is nice and relaxed. So maybe remind yourself to relax the hands, the forehead, the jaw. Maybe coming back to your breath, knowing that whatever comes your way, whether it's on or off the yoga mat, you always have your breath to fall back on. Just going to stay for a few more breaths. If you're ready to leave it, by all means, come out. And then everyone to release the pose. You can go whichever way you want, but especially if it's been feeling quite intense, you might want to sort of shift forwards onto your stomach and then lift up. So it's often not a very elegant exit, but do your thing, make your way back up. If you want to pause, sitting upright, knees together, kneeling, or any way you want, please do, because some people feel that one really intensely in their thighs. Otherwise, we will come to a seated position with both legs stretched out in front for a nice little hamstring stretch. Let's let all of that intensity go. You can choose if you want to sit on a cushion or a block with both legs stretched out in front. You can choose if you just stay seated upright, legs out in front of you. That's a great place to be. Otherwise, you might lift your arms up, lead with the chest, hands either come to knees, shins, ankles, soles of the feet. You know what your body needs right now, so listen to whatever it is that it's trying to tell you. And just take a few deep breaths here. Maybe as you inhale, you see if you can lengthen the spine a little bit more. And as you exhale, you fold a little bit deeper. So it's this gentle movement with your breath that we're always trying to move towards in our yoga practice. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, folding deeper. So choose if you like that movement, almost like waves lapping up on a beach. You can even visualize that as you take that movement. Or if you prefer to be in stillness here, it's totally up to you. Nice and slowly coming up to seated, or we'll meet you if you have been seated throughout. And feet flat to the floor, arms stretched out in front. So we're going to nice and slowly lower down towards the floor. Use your core to keep it controlled. Just before your head touches the floor, we're going to lift back up. Keep breathing. Keep the face soft. We're going to do that 2 more times, so lowering down. Notice if you're starting to hold that tension in the face, the jaw. Slowly lift up. I always find this one particularly hard to speak and do at the same time. Last one, lowering down. And lifting up. This time we're going to lower down as fast or as slow as you like, and you're not coming back up, so don't worry about coming all the way down onto your back. We're going to take a shoulder stand from here. If you are craving a headstand, handstand, forearm balance, you do your thing. Otherwise, kicking your feet over your head into a plow pose. Hands come to the lower back. Find a nice secure position and then lift the feet up towards the ceiling. Take your time, especially if you're newer to the practice here. But it's just nice to give the legs a little break, a little rest. A little bit of a treat getting them up high. If you are staying with me, start to bend the knees, bring them down towards either your forehead, or maybe open the knees and let them come towards your ears, to your deaf man's pose. And today, unless you're new to the practice and don't feel very secure here, see if you can roll out of this pose today without using your hands as brakes. So often we just place our hands on the mat and use that to get out. But today, see if you can move really, really slowly. Think about squeezing the core muscles so that you don't just crash out of this pose. Often it's easy to just let go and sort of flump onto your mat, but nice and steady, nice and slowly, rolling all the way out. Great work. Don't worry if you did crash land. Next time you might not. Making your way up onto your mat. If you're falling off it a bit like me, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Let your right knee fall towards the left. Supine twist. Right arm towards the right. Gazing over those right fingers. Just enjoying those after effects, those after sensations of moving your body, breathing deeply into your body. And using these last few moments of practice to enjoy that Ujjayi breath. I'm sure as you go back into your day, whatever it has in store, your breath is no longer at the forefront of your mind. Let's swap sides. Coming back through center, swap the legs. Hug the left knee in, nice big squeeze. Left knee falls towards the right. Left arm opens out. Trying to keep both shoulders grounding down. Again, just enjoying these last few moments of the simplicity of focusing on breath. And coming back to center, hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Forehead lift, make yourself as small as you can be. Big breath in, exhale it out through the mouth as you let go of the arms, let go of the legs. Take up as much space as you have here, so don't be afraid to leave your mat. Palms face the ceiling, let the feet fall open. Close the eyes. Let go of your Ujjayi breath and just enjoy the process of your body breathing itself. Shavasana, final rest. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath, deepening each inhalation and each exhalation. Move your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position, pausing here just for a moment. And then nice and slowly coming up to a seated pose, hands together at heart center and the eyes are closed. Just taking a moment of stillness to maybe show a bit of gratitude for your own physical body today. All the wonderful things it's capable of. whether that's wobbling out of your yoga pose or anything outside of your yoga practice. And with that thought in your mind, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you all very much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed practice. Let me know any questions, any feedback you might have. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week. I'm back online here Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Thank you very much.